I have no control over what anybody does. Just because they chat or they may come up on panel, I have no control. MiLLeR, I am not racist. I would have never spoken to you or loved you if I was a racist.
There's a bunch of ones, so MiLLeR, Sunday, 4 p.m. Go into 4 p.m. Eastern time. Go into Richard.
Why don't you put on your panties, your grown-up pants? Put on your grown-up pants and act like a fucking lady for once.
My pants have
You're taking advantage of Spoofy because she's drunk. You know she's drunk, so you can talk in all this shit in her room.
You're all taking advantage.
You know she wouldn't allow this if you were not fucked up. You would be kicked out of here in a fucking instant.
You know exactly what's
Smoke some shit.
happening to you. I am roasting your LaTiNo ass.
Oh my gosh.
Life in the 1950s was very difficult for Hispanics. We were considered second-rate. We were not considered intelligent. We were considered invisible.
It was overt discrimination, and not just you can't belong to my country club type, you know, but the real rough type. In theaters, in swimming pools, even in some public parks, we were segregated. Something awful, really.
Mexican Americans were fighting to be treated as if they were white. But the irony here is that the Texas courts seized on their claim to be white not to treat them fairly, but to continue to defend this practice of unfair mistreatment. The Texas courts responded by saying, "So you're white. That's fine. Look at the juries. There's nobody but white persons on the jury. You have no claim of discrimination." In turn, the Mexican-American lawyers had to respond, "We're white, but we're a class apart. We're a distinct class that, though white, is being treated as if we're not white." And that's the basis on which they went forward with their litigation in Hernandez versus Texas.
The class apart theory was as controversial as it was innovative.
I think many Mexican Americans were afraid. What would happen if we weren't considered white? How do we know we're not going to be forced or pushed to identify with the black race at a time when black people are fundamentally denied so many basic rights? But there's also the element of racism, of the belief among some Mexican Americans that blackness is inferior. So there's an element of racism and there's an element of fear of Jim Crow segregation.
We went to fight to give people liberty and to give them their civil rights. And then we come back home and we find out that it's the same way as we left it.
The great many people came home expecting that they had won their full citizenship rights. When they come home and they're decorated war heroes and they're turned away from restaurants or told to go to the balconies of theaters, it created a building resentment. When their kids were not allowed to go to the good schools, it created a great deal of resentment.
Hernandez versus Texas belongs in the pantheon of great civil rights cases, indeed of great American cases. But even more important, it belongs in the pantheon of great moments in American history. This is a moment when a people long regarded as inferior organize and demand equal treatment and succeed in that demand. This is an inspirational moment in American history, a moment in which equality is demanded and achieved.